Fluminense and Barcelona about to begin overtime, tied at 2-2. 2 10-minute periods of sudden death overtime. And a reminder, Cosmos will be taking on Udinese in the championship match. Now, there was a disallowed goal in the second half. And watch Maradona, number 10, in dark.
The first header now is going to come off the crossbar. You'll see a good header comes in here. And watch it come back now. This is where it tipped onto the post. Now we'll see it come back. And it just happened so fast. You see his hand coming through the air, his right arm coming through the air there. And he's leaning over, of course, pretending that he hit it in with his head. But the referee...
the defender was right on top of it, as well as Bob Evans.
The referee is not fooled by it. But just in the replay, it happened so fast that we could catch a little bit of it as his arm came through, swinging, and it looked as though he did catch it in his arm. But there wasn't as much protest by the other players as there would have been had it been a legitimate head goal, which is why I think Evans caught it right, and he was obviously smiling, trying to draw a smile of agreement out of Maradona. Maradona's been around too long to give those kinds of concessions to referees. But Evans had no question whatsoever, and there was only a modest protest later. See if we can see it from this angle. First header comes in.
Uzios.
Good header. Now we'll see it come back off the post. And a follow-up. Just too tough to see.
No doubt that his right arm and elbow were up, but of course he was up to attempt the header. But the defender immediately protesting as well, and as you noted, Bob Evans, the referee, smiling broadly. And talk about Maradona having been around. Yes, he is a household word name around the world. He's only age 23. And there's talk of a $9 million transfer to Napoli.
Well, also, they're still using the money from the transfer down at Argentina Juniors. There you see the second half scoring. Gonzalez for Barcelona. Romero from the penalty spot. Gonzalez, of course, getting a great pass from Maradona. Magico just motoring in and tucking it home very easily as he blindsided the defense and came in behind Julio. And there will be another game here, of course, for the championship. This game we're watching has nothing to do with the championship. It's the third place game. Udinese and the Cosmos will be for the championship. Now, what a game that should be, with the Cosmos wanting desperately to get number 3, never having really had lost to a foreign team here in the final. They have had losses to foreign teams in the tournament.
And a reminder that this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Cosmos, intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Cosmos and Sports Channel is prohibited. And the announcers on this broadcast are selected by Sports Channel and approved by the Cosmos. Diego Maradona, maybe his last match for Barcelona.
What I was saying, of course, is that the amount of money for which he was transferred initially, Argentina Juniors to Boca Juniors, and eventually over to Spain. I mean, the Argentina Juniors club is still in good shape. They're still using that money to buy some players. Just bought Orquin recently from the Argentine national side, and that meant a tremendous amount of that club. Boca, on the other hand, struggling a little bit financially, may even have to remortgage the stadium. So lots of clubs in South America struggling, but Argentina Juniors not one of them.
Which is why a lot of the transfers that are talked about in megabucks are in dollars, which is the coveted international currency for soccer deals, not softer currencies. Nonetheless, back to the first overtime. Fluminense attacking. Washington, number 9, tries to split a pair of defenders, and Leiva takes it away. As Julio could not stop it, but Aldo is there to stop it, and now put it all the way back to Ricardo Lopez, the 24-year-old Fluminense keeper.
Other interesting aspect of that transfer, one peculiar clause in it, Bob, when Maradona went from one Argentine club to another, the new club had to agree not to play Maradona in matches against his former club. The fans would go wild.
This is Rene, edge of the area, tried to get it inside to Washington. Amador was there. So perhaps a bit of history for Spanish international football or soccer today. Perhaps the last match for Maradona, who is on the ball right now with Barcelona at age 23. Tangling there with Bronco.
Bronco's been a little bit of the heart man back there for Barcelona several times, not just on Maradona, but on other players.
Julio, the captain, dogged by Maradona, gives it to Vico. 8.5 in this first overtime. Now, J.C. Romero, who has an assist and a goal today, to go with a goal in our first round match. Rene, Wilsinho, Aldo, and lifted at the midfield. Leomir got a head to it. Romero stopped by Gonzalez, and it caroms to Staya. And a handball whistle with 8 minutes in this first overtime, tied at 2-2. That's Paulinho. Nese and the Cosmos right after this match, which right now is in sudden death overtime. Bob Lee and Seamus Mallon. A break down the left side, but Julio's there to cut him off the pass. 7.5 in this overtime. Bronco, lots of room now. Across the halfway line with Romero to his left. This is Paulinho now to the inside. Rene. Magico Gonzalez, who does have a goal today. Chips ahead for Maradona, knotted down by Vica. Kept alive and now taken right back. This is Romero trying to play it for himself.
Oh, a good turn on Magico Gonzalez. And the crowd applauds. Excellent turn. Here's a chance for Diego Maradona.
He stays lead for Maradona, edge of the area, but Julio is there, wearing the captain's armband to put it out with his right foot to Paulinho. And Barcelona beginning to control the possession at midfield. Estella. Centers. Close. Estella. And back it comes to Romero. 6.5 now in the match. A lead on the right side for Washington. Out comes the keeper, Amador.
And, of course, the central defender there calling for that. As he did so, it was Olmo going back to call to his keeper to come out and head that one clear. The keeper almost an extra sweeper back there in those situations where the back four are exposed by a good through ball.
6 minutes now in this overtime. First sudden death overtime. And if this one concludes, still at 2-2, we'll go to another 10 minutes. Then possibly penalty kicks to decide it. 5-a-side until one team has an insurmountable advantage. Maradona lead on the right side for Estella. Close breaking of the box. Estella now. Lays it back for Maradona. Diego. Chip inside for Maradona, taken down the edge of the area. Waved off though by Bob Evans. Said no way as Diego took, in Evans' estimation, a dive.
Well, just inside the arc there, of course, that would have been a great chance for Maradona to set up one of his patented swerving shots around the wall.
Paulinho wins it back, and Osvaldo takes him down right at the ankle level with a hard kick.
That's the second time Osvaldo has done that to Paulinho. Remember, he did it right after Paulinho scored the goal, as you mentioned, a little bit of intimidation. Here he steals the ball away from him, and it gets kicked in retaliation. A lot of people feel that there's too much of that in Spanish soccer, Bob. Spanish soccer has been notoriously criticized for some of that kind of stuff, and it is a very, very hard league, certainly. And I think Maradona will be maybe quite happy to go over to the relative calm of the Italian league.
Bronco, his left foot, and just slithering wide, and
we have a substitution now.
Our first of the day, as a move will be made by Barcelona. Lieva will be coming out of the match. And the substitution is made.
I don't know which one it is at this point. It's only 3 subs listed originally.
Dressing only 14 today, and I believe it's Jimenez, who did come on as a sub late in the match. Yes, it is Jimenez, who has come on as a substitute now for Lieva. Barcelona in the dark, Fluminense in the white, tied at 2-2. 4 minutes now in this first overtime. Bob Lee and Seamus Mallon on Sports Channel. Jimenez, number 12 on the ball. Pushes it up to Gonzalez. Magico taken off by Leomir, and Fluminense challenging, but Maradona looks to win it, and it will be a throw-in for the Brazilian side.
Good substitution here by Barcelona. Leiva has worked tremendously hard on the left side of midfield and sometimes even the center of midfield, and obviously has expended a tremendous amount of energy. There are unlimited substitutions, so why not make one?
Rene breaks down the right side with Romero in the box. Crossing move in front, loose, and covered up by Amador. who is shaken up with JC in front. And as Olmo, the defender, says, let's have time for my keeper here. He's shaken up.
Romero running into the position here. The keeper has the ball, loses it. Romero reacts quickly, reaches in with the foot, but just catches the goalkeeper on the left arm. But he seems to be okay now, has drawn the free kick.
3 minutes and 10 seconds. First overtime. And the Brazilians can strike just as quickly as that with a quick, sudden strike up either wing from a defender or midfielder. As they did to tie it with Paulinho's goal. Aldo overlapping and late in the first half, less than a minute, tying the match at 1-1. We are now tied at 2-2. Less than 3 minutes now. Aldo breaks that play up, but no one is there. And it will be a goal kick. Cosmos in the championship match to follow will be here Saturday and the following Sunday as well. 2 weeks from today, when Toronto was in town, the Blizzard. As we get back to the regular season action in the NASL. Tampa Bay a victory over Chicago the other evening, 2-0, and the Rowdies are back to 500, showing renewed vigor on the field after 2 disastrous campaigns. Now back to the action at hand. Jimenez for Close, who tried to flick it ahead for himself. 2 minutes. First overtime. Romero changing in the midfield with Rene. Rene past one defender. Inside for JC Romero. Shot! Chuck Karam's wide on the save.
Well, there was one of those beautiful build-ups out of midfield that you do see from the Brazilians. They managed to beat a couple of players quickly in midfield for the Spanish side, Barcelona. They could not get back. You see all the space suddenly. Players collapsing in the middle, but there's still enough room for Romero's shot to be taken. Keeper did well to smother it on a difficult bounce.
Corner kick from the near side. 80 seconds to play. Washington in the box. Wilsinho is in the area. So is Paulinho. Cleared out to the 18, and now to Magico Gonzalez at the arc. He'll go right back to Amador, who made that save to stifle Romero from the 18-yard line. Exactly now a minute in the overtime. Fluminense and Barcelona at 2-2. Maradona with a lead for Close, who is definitely onside now down the left side as Uzios goes into the box, but Aldo comes over, wins that ball decisively, and sends Close to the seat of his pants. Washington to Wilsinho, but a little bit too far to be a throw-in for the Brazilian side, though.
Castella doing a good job getting back there into the left side of midfield after the substitute Jimenez had gone forward. Well read by him to come back and break it up.
25 seconds as Rene can't get it, but Wilsinho lays it back. 19 seconds now. Bronco with 16 seconds. Got Paulinho to his left. Uses his left foot, and it's well wide to the right of Lorenzo Amador, the keeper, and that should just about put the cap on this first overtime second period. 2-2 Barcelona and Fluminense, and we will play a second sudden death overtime with the possibility yet of a penalty kick shootout for third place in this 5th annual Transatlantic Challenge Cup. And referee Bob Evans has gone to the book about 7 times today, has awarded 1 penalty. And the son of Carlos Alberto, Alexander as he is known, and his dad is several booths over to our left, 17 years of age.
Well, for just $5, all Cosmos fans 16 and under can join the Cosmos Kickers, the official youth fan club of the Cosmos. With membership, you'll receive a Cosmos t-shirt, decal, and bumper stickers, a Cosmos Kickers membership card, and best of all, free admission to any 3 Cosmos games this summer. It's over a $20 value for just $5. So send $5 in your name and address to Cosmos Kickers, care of the Cosmos Ticket Office, 75 Rockefeller Plaza, New York, 10019.
Well, the pleas didn't work. They're going to play another overtime. And Fluminense shooting at the goal to our right. Barcelona in the dark uniforms will be shooting at the goal to our left. Bob Lee, Seamus Mallon at Giant Stadium in New Jersey. And we're your home for Cosmos Soccer Sports Channel. We'll have the Saturday match against the Sting. The 17th will be here when the Toronto Blizzard are in town. And now, third place, Transatlantic Challenge Cup on the line. Wilsinho into the area, headed in. Here comes Amador with Rene in front.
Not a bad idea by Romero, getting under cross, beating two players to head it back across the other side. But once again, the keeper was in a good spot to help out.
Another substitution for Barcelona as Canizares, number 14, is on, replacing McGilly, a central defender. So a move made there for some more punch. There's Canizares, who also came on Monday as a sub on the ball, number 14, challenged by Bronco. Throw in for the Brazilian side. Just underway, second sudden death overtime. Fluminense on the ball, a lead for Washington. Rene.
Washington just took a fall through no fault of any opponent. He just simply tripped on the turf.
And Jimenez. Don't forget, it will be the Cosmos at Udinese right after this game at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, the championship match of the Transatlantic Challenge Cup here on Sports Channel. Cosmos at Udinese just around 4 o'clock. Perhaps a few minutes afterwards, we'll be here between games with highlights of Game 1 and also visiting with special guests. Jimenez with a lead offside, a little bit too far for Canizares. As close was advanced as well, and the flag immediately raised. 8.5 minutes now till we possibly go to another penalty kick shootout, which is why Fluminense is in the third place match. Udinese defeating them in the penalty kick shootout 5-3. Aldo with Wilsinho to his left, crisscrosses to the inside, has that play broken up. Here comes Close for Barcelona, number 9, with Jimenez to his right, and Maradona on an advanced run. Close. Now on the right side, a lead for Canizares, or rather Gonzalez parts the bar, and a goal kick now for Lopez.
Very good idea, though, by Magico Gonzalez. All eyes on Maradona making the advance run, with defenders pulling back, so Magico Gonzalez withdraws a bit deeper than that, then makes his sprint from behind. The servicing pass just had a bit too much pace on it. But once again, a very well-timed run to when the defense was distracted by number 10.
Which is what set up the Gonzalez goal, which tied things up for Barcelona at 56-14. Now we are in the 103rd minute of action. Bronco settling for Fluminense, and there is Romero on a run with room down the left side as Osvaldo picks him up. Romero now looking to cross. He's got Washington in the box. Romero back to his left foot, JC, and will be a corner kick now for Fluminense with 7 minutes in the second overtime. And Romero will take it. With Washington in the box, Wilsinho and Lopez Amador under the gun. Romero, in-swinger, headed loose, and Close is there looking to clear and does so down the left side. And Barcelona on a break. Here goes Magico Gonzalez with Maradona to the far wing as Julio wins that ball away from Magico.
Very good defense by Julio there. Gonzalez with a tremendous run to save the ball initially, beat one player, but then perhaps making it a little bit obvious what he was going to do when he got to the second one. And Julio, a far stronger person from a physique standpoint, who was just simply able to muscle him off the ball.
6:20, second sudden death overtime. Third place on the line, the Transatlantic Challenge Cup. Polino showing no ill effects of that vicious hit he took back in the first overtime. Back on the ball, and now to Wilsinho. But all to do is right. Wilsinho, and it'll be a free kick for Fluminense. Might have been a play on call, but it'll be a free kick. Under 6 minutes now. Wilson Mendoza, Wilsinho, and he's on the right side. The ball well out towards midfield. Too far to be overly dangerous directly off the kick as Julio chips in. Header save! With Washington coming in from the left wing and cracking it right on Amador. Didn't get all the velocity he might have wanted, but an excellent scoring opportunity.
Look at this beautifully glided pass. Beats everybody. A little chip over the defense. A good run by Washington, and he's the only person who can get there. And unfortunately, his finishing header, fortunately for the Brazilian side, is not strong enough or sharp enough to the far corner. But what a tremendously chipped ball, and a good run by Washington to get to the right spot.
5 minutes now, second overtime as Gonzalez, Dunnies, Maradona is on it now. With Uzios In the middle, there's number 8 back. It goes to Valor with 4:50 now and counting. 2-2 is the score. Third place on the line. And the Cosmos to follow against Udinese. Close for Valor. Tried to lead Maradona with the bang-bang pass there. Close is back. And Gonzalez is on it. Barcelona builds along the right side. A lead as Leomir watches defensively as Canizares could not control it. It'll be a throw-in now for Fluminense. We approach the 4-minute mark. Near handball, and now the flag is raised, but no whistle. There's Close, edge of the area, tees it up on the right side, Canizares, and now we've got the whistle for the offside call. Rene for Fluminense. To Aldo. The offensive-minded defender. Unchallenged lead for Rene in the box. And now Wilsinho is challenging, trying to win that back with Olmo. Throws the itinerant elbow at Olmo, and he has to double up. Maradona plays peacemaker with 3:40 on the clock. And a penalty kick shootout right on the horizon. Coming dead towards us right now.
Well, it would be nice to see it resolved on the field on the regular flow of play with 3.5 to go rather than through penalties, which, of course, in a fourth place game has much less sting to it than the qualifying games had, the semifinals on Monday.
Jimenez, a lead for Canizares on the right side. Curls it back for Maradona. Can't get to it. Taken out of the play by Aldo very well. And Aldo gathers it back in. No one could get their noggin to it. 3 minutes now. Aldo and Wilsinho, and a whistle. Looks like we're going to have another caution issued. Might be to Huzios. He starts trotting away, but Robert Evans says, come on back. I want to have a word with you. And Huzios might have had a word, might have thought that Maradona was fouled. Maradona himself did not plead his case.
Huzios kicking at the Brazilian opponent, but I didn't think it was that noticeable, but the referee was so close to it that he must have felt the intent was far more grave than the actual offense turned out to be. 2:20
in the match. Dulio to the far post. Wilson can't get it. It's cracked out, and Jimenez controls up the right side. He's with Gonzalez. Magico curls back now. And loses out as Broncos got it. There is Romero. 2 minutes in the match. JC slips to Washington. And put away, and Barcelona back on it. Olmo. Broken up again by Leomir. Here comes Fluminense with 1:50 now in sudden death. Leomir for Paulinho on the left wing with Romero in the box. Curls it in. Romero header over the top, and it will be a corner kick.
Well, Paulinho did the right thing there. He got the cross in early because 2 players went towards him. Here's a quick corner kick now by Romero.
JC to the far post again, hit it up by the defender and punched out by Amador. 80 seconds now. 80 seconds and the clock running in a 2-2 match in the second. Sudden death overtime. Another Fluminense corner kick. Again, Paulinho will take it. Romero to the far post. Wilsinho on the near post. Amador got a partial hand to it, and Jimenez puts it out to midfield with 1 minute to play.
Well, there may be the best opportunities of this overtime period to the Brazilian side, Fluminense. Good corners, well cleared away, though. The second one in particular, the first one a little desperate. And we've got 45 seconds to go, maybe one more chance.
Bronco looks to perhaps create that chance as it's put out by Osvaldo, and here comes Barcelona. Jimenez lays it off to Gonzalez. Here is Close in the midfield with 35 seconds. Close on the right side. A little bit of misunderstanding. He and Jimenez, I believe, had opposite ideas about that advance, and no one took the right wing.
And also Maradona had drifted far right there and could have maybe put something together with Close had they been able to get to the end of that, but a very poorly hit pass. We've got 9 seconds to go, so for the second time in 6 days, we're going to look at a penalty shootout.
Barcelona Fluminense 2-2. The scoreboard clock is not official, but it is close enough. And that is it. Regulation and overtime over, and we go now to the penalty kick shootout. And again, a reminder that the goals in the penalty kick shootout do count as actual game goals. So 5 aside until one team has the insurmountable advantage. And we'll step aside for a moment and be back with the penalty kick shootout to decide third place in the Transatlantic Challenge Cup. It goes to the shootout.
The world will be over the left in a moment. Of course, there was another big penalty tiebreaker played this week in Europe for the European Cup final Wednesday night in Rome, where Liverpool played Roma and played them to a 1-1 tie. They played 30 minutes of overtime, not sudden death, but 30 minutes of overtime. No further scoring. It went to penalties, and Liverpool prevailed 4-2, I believe, even though they missed their first shot.
Wow.
Were behind 2-1 at one point and then hit 3 in a row. And the Rome players, in front of their hometown crowd in their home stadium, knocked 3 penalties over the top.
Romero will go first. Will shoot first for Fluminense on Amador. Tied at 2-2. These count as actual game goals in the international fashion. And again, the officials, Bob Evans, the referee, and linesman Bill Bryan and Bill Mansman will confer.
Romero, of course, scored a penalty already today, scored a goal from the field of play on Monday, and scored a penalty which was retaken in the shootout last time.
Keeper must have his feet on the goal line, and according to the law of the game, may not move until the ball is struck. The worry now is, or just the concern, putting Lopez, the Fluminense keeper, nearby to call him quickly, but not become a factor or a distraction. Everyone else is in the center circle. J.C. Romero. And Lorenzo Amador. The first of 5 for Fluminense, or until one team has the advantage. Amador with the save, guessing correctly. It will be retaken. We will have it retaken, and that is how upset Amador is. He does a flip. Barcelona irate.
I can't believe it. They got all kinds of players coming out on the field. From the far side, the Barcelona players really ought not to be doing this. This is a bad piece of sportsmanship, or breaking out of sportsmanship by them.
He clearly moved early, Seamus.
The referee has to make the decision. He's not going to put up with any of this stuff. He shouldn't.
Maradona just skived the ball about 40 feet up. And referee Robert Evans, yes, ruled a retaken penalty kick. Amador, the keeper, clearly moved forward at least a step and a half before the ball was guessed correctly. And watch the keeper now. Keep your eye on the goalkeeper.
Keep your eye on the keeper and the eye on the player shooting if you can, both at the same time. No question he does move a pad away from the goal. Frankly, it was not a well-hit penalty. It was, in other words, it gave the keeper too much of a chance to save anyhow, because it came up in the air, which is not a good move anyhow. It means the keeper has to dive less hard than he will if it's skimming along the ground, and it was too close to him. So even had he not moved, he probably would have had a good chance to save it.
So Amador will face Romero again. J.C. Romero with a second lease on life and our first of 10 scheduled penalty kicks to decide third place in the Transatlantic Challenge Cup.
Referee will not allow it to be taken until the Barcelona players get off the field on the far side.
Amador upset. The tension is a bit draining for him after 110 minutes of full action and having already made what he believed to be a good save. He moved early again, but Romero choked, quite frankly, put it well wide.
Well, Romero obviously changing direction that time, but not quite as much the way he intended. Direction like about 180 degrees. Got way under that thing and knocked it 15 rows back into the crowd. Very peculiar shot by Romero.
And again, as we discussed Monday, because it was not even close to going on goal, Even though the goalie moved early, nothing will be retaken. So, Lopez now in the nets for Barcelona, and he will face Huzios for Barcelona. Huzios had the hat trick on Monday. Lopez can't. You saw Lopez with his gyrations in the net, maybe hoping to distract Huzios. Get a itinerant hand on the ball, didn't work. Huzios put it in, so Barcelona now leads at 3-2.
That's right, in the European fashion, of course, adding the goals in the shootout to the goals already scored in regulation, which was 2-2. It's now 3-2.
Julio, the captain. But it will be retaken again. And Amador says, I don't want to say it, but I've got to say it, if we can make a rough translation. He says, what do you have to do on this tough town, this America, I think is what he's roughly saying.
Well, we'll see it again. Another badly taken shot. No question he's moving. He moves off the line. But what these players are all complaining about is the fact that these movements are very often allowed in Europe and in South America. A certain amount of movement is a pace. I mean, literally, by the textbook, it ought not be. But it is in actuality allowed. A certain amount of movement is permitted because the keeper has essentially no chance. It ought not to be by rules, as I said. And the referee here is calling it strictly by the book.
So, for Fluminense to stay in it, rifled in by Julio, and again movement, but no need to retake this one. So it is 3-3. Barcelona does have the advantage on the Huzios penalty kick.
Well, no mistake with this one. He just simply buries it up in the roof of the net. That's one of the theories of penalty kicking, Bob. You just drive it as hard as you can. And, of course, in the regular field of play, even if you miss, you may get a rebound. No rebounds, of course, can be converted here.
MAGICO Gonzalez to give Barcelona a 1-goal advantage after 2 rounds of the shootout. It is 3-3 game score, but this is for Barcelona to have the even number of attempts, if you will, the bottom of the inning in a baseball sense. Along the ground. So Barcelona has the advantage as Lopez guessed incorrectly.
Well, I think that's the best way to take it. Just fake a little bit to one side and then push it away to the other. Along the ground, the keeper has no chance whatsoever if that ball is skimmed along the ground into the back of the net, the back corner of the net. He just simply can't make it, can't get over there fast enough.
Well, Paulinho, and again, Fluminense trailing, as you'll note, the wide shot by Romero in their first attempt. Paulinho inside the left post, past Amador.
So we're tied again.
What?
4 apiece, but bottom half.
At the edge, yeah.
Yep. Here comes Diego Maradona, taking maybe his last shot on goal in a Barcelona shirt, and who's going to call this one if he misses it?
4-4 is the score. Third penalty kick attempt for Barcelona. Maradona. Just inside the post to the right of Lopez, and so it is 5-4 Barcelona.
Again, as I said, the easiest way to do it is just take it a little one way and then push it the other. If you hit hard enough along the ground to the post, to the corner, it's going to be physically impossible for the keeper to get down there and save it without moving early and guessing right.
Washington now for Fluminense, which again needs every goal now because they missed on the first one by Romero. Amador on the nets for Barcelona. Washington over the top. Barcelona with their 4th attempt. The game was tied at 5-5.
Looks like it goes right down the middle of the assumption the keeper's going to guess some way, and he does guess to his right, but the ball was stroked right down the middle into the roof of the net. A bit risky, but it worked.
And now Jimenez. And Jimenez gives Barcelona again the advantage, so each team with 4 attempts, and Barcelona leads the match 6-5.
Now this one opting for the upper corner, not the lower corner, but he plays it wide enough so that the keeper cannot reach out a hand and touch it away. Now a miss here on this 5th shot by Fluminense, and it's over.
Leomir will take it.
Is it number 5? Yes, you're right, number 5.
Leomir de Souza, the 22-year-old wing defender, actually in the midfield today. He must score for Fluminense, which he does. But now Barcelona with an attempt to clinch it. Washington has a word away from the action for the next shooter for Barcelona, as that one went through for Leomir. As Canizares was advancing, Washington came out. Lord knows what he said to him, but he did have a word of advice from his foe, Fluminense.
The lines, the referee and the goalkeeper here doing a little bit of one-upmanship there, talking to the shooter. So Canizares, it's all up to him. He scores, it's over.
Levity out there. Save! It will be retaken. We hate to say it. Now the onslaught is on, and now Fluminense is just
not a very well
over the ref.
Not a very well hit shot, but if 2 can be called up,
how seriously are they taking this? That's an honest question on my part. I really wonder.
Well, the keeper did move again, I think, but once again, how much is permitted, how much not? The Brazilian side really can't complain because they've had a couple of retakes themselves through Romero and Julio. Romero missed his retake, and Julio scored his.
So Canizares for the match again. It'll be retaken. Canizares lighthearted out there, and he and Lopez a few words back and forth. This is for the match, with the Cosmos Udinese in the championship match to follow. You watch enough of these, and the NASL system at the 35-yard line shootout makes a lot more sense when the goalie can't move, and that element of controversy is simply abolished. Lopez comes out.
A little bit of a Shep messing in Lopez. Remember, Shep in the Olympic game took his shirt off in a goal in Mexico and threw it down and so forth, and so upset the shooter that he hit over the top.
And Canizares is in, and that's the match. Well, he stifled his laughter long enough to plant the penalty kick and give Barcelona 3rd place in the Transatlantic Challenge Cup in a penalty kick shootout that clearly was not to the delight of either side, even though Barcelona will go home with a 3rd place medallion. Canizares.
Keeper moving more than any keeper has moved so far, and Canizares not bothered by it, but slots it in the corner. And a 7-6 victory by Barcelona over Fluminense, and so Fluminense has lost to 2 penalty shootouts in their 7 days or 6 or 7 days here in the New Jersey and New York area. And Barcelona gets a little consolation out of winning the 3rd place game by a score of 7-6, winning 5-4 on penalties in the penalty shootout.
So Barcelona winning 3rd place in this Transatlantic Challenge Cup. Fluminense, the champions of the Brazilian League, will be heading back to Rio, having, as James mentioned, lost 2 penalty kick shootouts. The Cosmos and Udinese in the championship match will also review this first game.